These OEM-style LED fog lights are the perfect option for the 21 to 23 F-150 owner who wants a simple, economical way to refresh or upgrade their truck's lighting. Whether you're adding fog lights for the first time and value that OEM-type integration and look, or you're on the hunt for an affordable way to replace damaged or aging original units, these will look and act the part for way less than you pay for a set from Ford. Fog lights are an important part of your truck's lighting setup, and especially on a truck that may be seeing a lot of miles, having a good set of fog lights can help make driving it safer and just generally more pleasant. This set, as the name implies, is essentially a replica of what your truck may have come with from the factory. You get two LED-powered fog lights with clear lenses over top and integrated housings. These are designed to fit perfectly in your lower front bumper, so you don't have to do any kind of trimming or anything to get them fitted. They utilize the reflector style LEDs for the actual fog light section up here at the top, which puts out plenty of light, and there's also an LED light bar down here at the bottom. Now this is a switchback which allows it to pull double duty as an amber turn signal repeater and a white daytime running light. And it will match up almost perfectly with the LED daytime running lights if you had those optional headlights on your truck. The clear lenses over top here also ensure that you'll get a nice clean beam pattern when you switch them on, which is of course the most important part, so you can more easily see down the road in adverse conditions. Bonus with this kit is that it comes with a switch and all the wiring included. And while that may not sound exciting, if your truck doesn't have fog lights or didn't have them to begin with, then the switch and the wiring here makes these so much easier to add. And if your truck did come with fog lights from the factory, these are just going to plug right in place of your originals and you don't have to do any wiring at all. Construction is all OEM grade materials as well. You've got a polypropylene housing on the back, plus those clear polycarbonate lenses on the outside. They're of course all weather sealed too, so they should be able to stand up to the elements and keep everything inside nice and protected. They do have integrated adjusters right here on the back too, so you can actually adjust the way these are aimed and get them aimed properly for you. That also means that they are DOT and SAE approved, making them fully street legal. Pricing might just be the best part though, as the set here is only going to run you about $325. So they're definitely a lot less than what you pay if you try to get the same set from Ford or at your dealership. So if you're after an economical way to replace or add fog lights to your truck, you really can't beat that price, especially considering these are all LED powered. Installation gets a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 2 hours to complete. Now, provided you have fog lights on your truck already, this is going to be a super simple swap-in operation. You'll just need to unbolt your old ones, pop these right in their place, and plug them in, and you're ready to go. Now, if you do not have fog lights, you'll need to do a bit more work to get these fitted, and that's where all the wiring and this included switch comes in. But it still shouldn't be super complicated, and everything you need is included in the box. Now, we're going to walk you through the installation process right now, so for that, let's head on out to the shop.
For this install, you need a 3/8 ratchet and 1/2-inch ratchet, a 3/8 extension, a 21, 13, 10, 8, 7, and T30 socket, a clip removal tool, wire clippers and wire strippers, and wire connectors. All right, today we're going to be installing some fog lights on our F-150. First, we're going to watch a quick video to install the headlights because we do have to wire into them, and then we'll come back here to uninstall the bumper.
So we've got our hood popped, and the first thing we're going to need to do is remove this upper shroud. Now there are many push clips holding it in place, so we've got a push clip removal tool, and we're going to pop those all out and get our shroud out of the way. So we have our clips out. Pull our shroud up and out of the way. One more over here, don't forget that one. Now that we have our shroud out of the way, we can get to our 4 10mm screws holding our upper portion of our grill in place, as well as unplugging our electrical connectors and our washer fluid reservoir connector that is located in here. So we'll do that first and we'll get our screws out. So I'll get these unplugged. For our washer fluid connector, you simply need to squeeze on the oval side. It should pop right out. Sometimes it can be a little tough, but it should come right out. Unplug this one for our shutter. And our camera connector. Now, in addition to that, we have a clip holding this part of our harness onto our grill. We're going to grab our clip removal tool, pop that right out of there. So all this can get moved out of the way. Then we can come in with our 10mm socket and remove our screws. Now you notice we have one of our screws missing, but you should have 4 10mm screws up here. We're going to grab our 10mm socket on our impact and remove those. Now while we're up here, we're also going to remove these 5 push clips holding our bracket and grill together. Again, with our clip removal tool, pop those up and out. Next, we're going to have to remove the lower front trim panel below our grill. In order to do that, we're going to have to remove the 2 7mm screws in each of our wheel well at the back side. So we've got our 7mm socket on our ratchet. We're going to pull these out. And once you have this out, you can grab onto this panel, pop it out of its place, and do the same thing for the other side. Now that we have our mounting screws out, we can pull our lower trim panel. We're going to grab this firmly, pop that off. Next, we're going to remove the lower 8mm mounting screws for our grill. So we've got our 8mm socket on our impact. We'll run these off. And you've got one on the other side as well. Now we can grab our grill and give it a firm tug. Set it aside. So for this grill, because it does have lighting, we're also going to need to remove the passenger side headlight. And to do that, we're going to grab our 10mm socket and our 8mm socket along with a clip removal tool. And we'll show you how to get that out. So you should have a push clip right here for your locator, which you would use a clip removal tool to pop out. As you can see, ours is no longer with us. Now we're going to remove the 2 10mm screws up top, again with our 10mm socket. Now we can remove our 2 lower mounting points, which is an 8mm screw and a 10mm nut on this stud. And you can see it's right back there. We'll grab our 10mm socket along with an extension. Get this one off first. You want to be careful not to drop it. And we'll grab our 8mm socket for our other screw. Now that we have all of our mounting screws out, we can remove and unplug our headlight. Once we have that out, grab our connectors. We got 2 main ones. We also have one for your marker bulb that's up back here. We can set this aside.
So now that our headlights are out of the way, along with our grill, we have access to our bumper. Now we have our connector here. We're just gonna pull back on our main connector and disconnect that. And then after that, we have 3 nuts that we have to take off the back side of either side of our bumper, and then we can remove our entire bumper together. So on the back side of our bumper, there's 2 on the outside, 1 on the inside. We're gonna grab our ratchet and 21mm socket and take off those 3 nuts. Get this last one off. Now if you want, you can thread one nut back on while you get the other side off, and we can take it off together, but it should hold up there. So now you can go ahead and repeat the same thing on the other side, and then we'll remove our bumper. Now we can remove our bumper. So now we have our bumper up on the table just so we can get access to the back, so we need to remove our factory fog light. In order to do that, we do need to loosen up this bracket here and just pull it off on the side because there's one hidden T30 underneath it here. So we're gonna grab our ratchet and extension and 13mm socket. We're gonna take off our 3 bolts, one here, here, and here. Take those bolts out of the way, and you just lift this up. You just kind of tilt this out of the way like so. Now we're gonna grab our trim panel removal tool. We're gonna pop off our wiring harness here from the back of our light. We will not be reusing our factory plug, so we're gonna disconnect that. Just tuck that off on the side. We're gonna switch to our ratchet and T30 socket. We got 2 screws here, 1 on the inside, and then 1 at the top. So we're gonna remove all 4 of those. And we can remove our light completely. So now we can install our new light. We're just gonna line up all of our tabs and get that set in place and reinstall our hardware. Just gonna get that one started, get the other 2 started, and then tighten it down. We can go ahead and get this back in place. And then reinstall our 3 13mm bolts. Grab our ratchet extension and socket and tighten those down. All right, now you can go ahead and repeat the same thing on the other side. So now we'll get our bumper back in place, line up our tow hooks, line up our studs. So now we have our bumper back on. We're gonna thread on our 3 nuts on either side. We'll go ahead and grab our ratchet and 21mm socket and tighten these down. Now you may need to loosen these up and tighten them back down to adjust the bumper properly. I'm just gonna lift that up, snug it up. Grab a ratchet and socket and tighten those down. Now if they're tight, we're just going to re-secure our connector. Then you can go ahead and tighten the other 3 nuts on the other side. All right, so now before we get everything else on, we just need to do a little bit of wiring. Now I know this looks like a giant mess here, but it's actually pretty simple. So we have a couple connections that are going to go to the battery. We have a relay, our blue wire, which will be our connections to our turn signals, and then our connector will actually go to our fog light itself. So we're gonna start off, we're just gonna make this a little simple here. You could definitely take your time and clean this up a little bit better. Ours is definitely not gonna be as pretty, but we're just gonna get this done. So we're gonna have our connector here. This actually is our connector for our button. You'll see 2 wires coming off of this. One is going to go to our power, which is the one without terminal, and then we have our black for our negative. So nice and easy, we can just disconnect our nut here on our terminal. Do this one, and we'll just slide our negative under there and go ahead and tighten that down. Now for our other wires, our white wire here that's in this black sleeve, that's gonna go to our positive. We have our green wire here, and then we also have a red wire here. These are all gonna go to our positive. We just need to put a couple terminals on these first. So as you can see, I stripped one of these back already. You can grab any terminal you want. We have ours with a little hook here. There's also these with a slot. So it looks like it'll fit better is these ones with a slot, kind of like a fork. I already have this one stripped back. We're just gonna go ahead and crimp this. And do the same thing with our red wire here. We're gonna strip this back. Now you could also put these together on the same connector, but that is just personal preference. We'll go ahead and crimp this one up. Go ahead and loosen our stud. This one, since we have a 10 out, and we'll get all 3 of these on our positive terminal. And go ahead and tighten that down. So we have our fuse here. We're just gonna tuck that down out of the way. And also our relay, just tuck that down. Follow our wiring harness back. So we're gonna grab our shorter side, and actually pretty much the rest of our harness too, but we're gonna pull this through here. There's a little access hole above the washer. Just gonna pull all of our harness through. Pull our driver side along with it. Get all the extra that we can to reach over to the passenger side. We'll put that over there for now, and we'll just focus on our passenger side harness right here. So as you can see here, we have our blue wire that's exposed. We're gonna go to our turn signal connector here. Now this already has a T-tap on it. It's simply this, just a different color. Just clamps over the wire, pinches down over it, and then you have the spade connector that goes in the back. So we already have that on there. We just need to connect our spade connector. So we're just gonna slide our connector over and crimp that down. Now this is going into our yellow and brown wire here, and this is what works our turn signal feature. So we're just gonna leave that plugged in, and then we can plug in our harness for our fog light down here. We have our connector here, which we're gonna plug into our fog light, like so. All right, now a quick fix. Now when we did plug in our light, we realized that our DRL went to constant power, so we needed to fix that. Found out that the red wire that I had going to our battery just needs to go to our marker light. So what I did was took that off the battery, put a spade connector on, and I have a T-tap over our connector for our marker light on the side. So we're in our blue and gray wire, so we're just gonna plug that in and leave that off on the side for now, and when we hook up our light, everything will work properly. Now we're gonna run our wires across to the other side, and you're gonna connect the wires the same way over there. So you're gonna have your wire, you're gonna run that across the front of the truck. Now you can secure that however you want, make it as nice as you want. We're gonna plug it into our fog light. And then we have our other wire here. You see we do have a bunch of extra. We're just gonna bunch that up and tuck it behind. Once again, you would wanna secure that away. We have another T-tap on our turn signal connector here. You can see it's on the blue wire. We're gonna put our spade connector on, crimp that down, and plug that in. And this should allow our turn signal features to work properly. Now we can go ahead and get our headlights back in and start assembling everything else. Now we're gonna get our headlight back in place. We're gonna secure all of our connectors. So we have our parking light. I know you'll not be able to see this because there's not much room to turn in here. But we have our turn signal and then our main connector here. Just make sure all your wiring stays connected. And we're gonna tuck this in place. Get around our lower trim down here. And we go ahead and secure all of our hardware. So we have our two 10mm at the top of our headlight. We're gonna grab a ratchet and tighten those down. Now you would also have a push pin up here, but we are actually missing ours. No big deal, just put that in, and then we'll go down the bottom and secure our nut. So now on the bottom down here, we have our stud. So we're gonna grab our ratchet, extension, and 10mm socket. And we have our nut in here. We're gonna tighten that down. Then you go ahead and reinstall your other headlight the same way. So now we can get our grill back in place. We'll line up all of our locating tabs, get a good tap in place. So now at the bottom of the side of our grill, we have our 10mm bolt we're gonna put in here and our 8 for our headlight. We're gonna start with our 10, grab a ratchet and socket, tighten that down. Switch to our 8mm socket, put our 8mm bolt in for our headlight. Now you go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Next, we can reinstall our lower trim piece. We'll get that all lined up. Next, we have our 2 screws on the inner of our fender liner. We're just gonna get these lined up, grab a ratchet, 7mm socket, tighten these down. Go ahead and repeat the same thing on the other side. So up top here, we're gonna re-secure our grill, our harnesses, and our cover. We just have our 10mm bolts we're gonna put on top of our grill. Now we are missing one, but you would reinstall that one. Re-secure our harnesses here and our washer line. Tuck them out of the way. We have our large push clips that go in the front of our grill here. Then we can get our rad cover in place. Tuck it up under our intake there. Then reinstall the rest of our push clips going across. Now we're going to get our white connectors and we're going to plug in our button. Now you can run this across the firewall the best you want. You just want to make sure it stays away from anything hot or moving. And then we're going to go on the other side and get it through our firewall. So now we're going to get our button through our firewall. You'll see an access plug down here. It's kind of hard to see, but it's next to all of your master cylinder stuff. You're just going to pull that out and then shove your button through, and then we'll pull it through on the inside and secure it to our dashboard. All right, so now we're gonna secure our button to our dashboard. We pulled the backing on our double-sided tape. Now you can secure this however you want. We're just gonna stick it to our dashboard right here. And that wraps up our install of our OEM-style full LED fog lights with switch clear for our 2021 to 23 F-150 with factory halogen fog lights. And remember, for everything F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.